The US have just launched their new crypto bipartisan legislation bill, which I think is super bullish for crypto. Now, you're probably thinking legislation, senators, bills, blah, 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 blah. So boring. Well, I'm here to tell you it is a little bit boring, but the effect, the positive outcomes of what this bill is going to provide, in my opinion, could take the market cap from $2 trillion to $10 trillion in crypto. And I'm going to tell you why in this very video. Hi, my name is Ben here from Collective Shift, where we deliver you actionable insights so you can make better investment decisions in a really short amount of time. Now, I'm going to bring everything you need to know in this video, plus at the end, give you my thoughts on what I think this is going to do in the short, medium, and long term for crypto. Let's get into it. First of all, here is the bill that has been passed to Congress. Now, it is a 69-page bill. So if you want to go read that, you can, but that's not what we're here to do. We're here to synthesize and aggregate everything. So you need to know in a short amount of time. And basically what's happened here is it's US Senators Kirsten Gillibrand and Cynthia Lummis has come together to introduce a Responsible Financial Innovation Act, which is a bipartisan legislation, which basically means both parties have come together to agree that digital assets is something that's going to be around in the future, and they needed to create regulatory framework to encourage responsible innovation and to protect consumers. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because this has been a big topic for a long time in crypto, the regulation uncertainty. You've probably heard people talk about, well, it's unregulated, it's used for drugs, it's used for all this money laundering stuff, there's no regulation. Now, for the first time, this bill is going to push forward the regulation required for the crypto industry to move forward. Now, Nick, our senior analyst, wrote back in April 28th that he thought that the uncertainty of the regulation is actually holding back the adoption of crypto. If we get that increased regulation, what we're going to see is some of these bigger funds and institutions start to come into crypto. And Kevin O'Leary spoke at the Bitcoin conference, which I attended to back in Miami a couple of months ago, which was around for the bigger funds, the sovereign wealth funds, the trillions and trillions of dollars that are circulating in different financial markets. They all want exposure to crypto, but they're not going to do that until there's more regulatory certainty, and this bill is going to help do that. Now, there are some caveats to this. It's only been put to the Senate yesterday, so it's not like an overnight thing where it's all going to be fine and dandy. This is going to take probably 6-12 months or longer for something to actually be passed through Congress, but it's going to give the crypto market and the 200 most valuable cryptos, the top 200, some regulatory certainty. Now, as it mentions here in Decrypt, the bill stands basically almost no chance of passing through Congress. It's going to need a lot of momentum, and we're going to see a lot of contenders for the government in the US putting their hand up and jumping on this future crypto policy based on them trying to fight for positions in Parliament. So this is I think it's a really good time to launch this. We're probably not going to see much change, at least for the next 12 months. There's going to be a lot of changes to this, just because this 69-page document, the way it is, doesn't mean this is what's going to actually get passed. There's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of contesting the bill to get some changes, because one of the biggest things around this is actually to end the SEC's jurisdiction over the whole crypto industry and move it to the CFTC, which is a huge change. I'm not sure if the SEC will probably like this, and that's why there's probably going to be significant changes to this, but I think this is going to give so much clarity for investors. I know there's been a lot of lack of clarity for things like Ethereum, where people have scrutinized that it could be a security. So yeah, it's going to give a lot of overview for investors, especially the bigger investors. For us, our little guys, it doesn't mean too much necessarily, because we're going to be maybe protected a little bit more. But in terms of the bigger institutions, the sovereign wealth funds, the countries that want to put money into Bitcoin and crypto, they need regulatory certainty. Otherwise, they'll never come into crypto, because it could be taken out out from under them if regulation changes, and we're talking a lot of money. This is the quote I was mentioning before from Kevin O'Leary. To get from a $2 to a $10 trillion asset class, there needs to be updated regulations and policy. And this is what he said in Miami. I was there at this conference. He said there are billions of dollars out there waiting for policy. These massive pools of capital, these $1 trillion pools, own this much of crypto. Practically nothing. What we are missing is policy. When we get policy and the regulator regulates, that's not a negative thing. The spigots of capital are going to flood into this sector like you've never seen. So really exciting stuff, in my opinion. I think we are going to see mass adoption really come into crypto once this bill passes in the next 12 to 18 months. In the short term, I don't think we're going to see much change. We're going to see crypto continue to bounce around. There's a great accumulation phase, in my opinion, right now. I'm accumulating. But over this next 12, 18 months, as this bill, pushes forward, we get closer to the halving, we get out of this sort of, consumption of, the interest rates and the expanding of money, and, the Fed really hammers down. Once we get through this sort of navigate through this volatile period, I think over the next 12, 18 months, cryptos will start to return. We'll start to see prices increase. This bill will be passed in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, it's never been more exciting, in my opinion, over the next 3 to 5 years for where crypto's going to go. So stick on. Don't sell your crypto. Continue accumulating Bitcoin and ETH, in my opinion. It's a great play right now. It will be volatile, but we're not looking at the short term. We're looking at long-term holding and where we could be over the next 3 to 5 years. So I hope it's been helpful. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Head over to Collective Shift if you're looking for more premium insights. We've recently launched our new starter tier, so for only $1 for 7 days, you can get some of our beginner portfolios, research and analysis, airdrops. You can see our asset analysis, heaps of stuff there to help you as an investor save time and make money in crypto. So I hope it's been helpful. I'm Ben, and we'll chat again soon. Thanks, guys.